So, how does one become a voice actor? Hi, it's me, Stefan. Some of you guys know me for the food stuff, but today is going to be something a little different. My DMs, my comment sections, every fathom of my online being is littered with the question, how do I get into voice acting? So, every year or so, I like to kind of just pop in and just kind of touch on the basics. And also, I have an excuse to kind of show off my new lights. I got new lights and kind of a new camera here. So, we're going to just see how this all turns out. Again, if you're new here, my name is Stefan Johnson. I am a full-time voice actor along with my content creation. I have been doing voiceover for about 12 years, 7 or 8 of those years really taking it seriously, and I'm entering my 3rd year doing it full time. A lot of this is basic stuff too. You don't even have to be a pro to really get the majority of this down. So let's just get started, and we're going to try and make this a fast, short, quick, and concise video. Aside from the point of me saying small 3 or 4 different ways right there for absolutely no reason. And I'm just freestyling this too. I don't have anything written down. I'm just going to go vaguely off a list I already made. Number 1, I want you to research the business. A lot of people think that voice acting is just making funny voices for cartoons and getting paid for it. There's a lot more to the business than just making funny voices. You really want to kind of get a sense of other people's journeys as far as becoming a voice actor. You kind of want to get a sense of the fact that it's not really an instantaneous grab bag of money and opportunity. People are often grinding for years before they book their real job. There's so much that goes into it when it comes to investing and training, which we'll talk about in the next few points, but it's not instant. You don't just buy a microphone and then get an agent, or buy a microphone and just, get into the industry. There's a lot of facets to it. It's like a big ass, stinky ass onion full of layers. Number 2, you want to look into coaching. Now, like any kind of skill, trade, any kind of job, if you're coming into it fresh, you need some kind of training, right? You can't just expect to be a bricklayer with no type of experience. That building will come down faster than your mama's pants when I walk through the door. Voiceover is kind of a similar monster because you have to know what you're doing before you start trying to compete for jobs, because you're going to make a terrible first impression with, who knows, you may stumble upon an opportunity. And then if you suck, if you don't know what you're doing, guess what? That person's never going to look at you again. So you really want to get into either specific voice acting coaching, which I do kind of put at the priority, but you can also get into traditional acting classes like Meisner or improv or something like that. I kind of suggest one-on-one coaching if you can. Group classes and workshops are okay, but I think working one-on-one with a coach weekly, monthly, probably up to a full year would be the most beneficial to make sure your individual questions and needs are met. But again, just get in where you fit in. If you can only afford a class a month or a session a month, or you can only afford a group session or something like that, get it in where you can. And there are tons of resources online, free resources that can help you, just train and kind of get the craft up, like sample scripts and like online tutorials, videos like these that can kind of just get your feet wet into it. You can start anywhere, but you just have to start. Number 3, you want to invest in your equipment. You want to begin to build some capacity of a home studio. 98% of voiceover work, especially post-COVID, is recorded from home studios. The only thing I think people are like regularly going in for nowadays to like other studios is maybe like the big box, like the Pixars and Nickelodeon stuff. But my friends who are actually in the industry recording the Pixars, the Nickelodeon stuff, they're telling me that more and more often they're allowing you to stay at home and record your gigs. Even for practicing, you want a way to record yourself and just listen back and hear the nuances of what you're doing. You want to get used to editing your own audio. Most of us, we don't have separate editors to send stuff off to. And a lot of the times you don't have the time to try and send your stuff off to have it edited because you'll get an audition. Once you start actually competing for jobs, you'll get auditions and you'll need to have them in within 2 hours, sometimes like 30 minutes if it's like a rush. So you need a home studio. And so you need to start kind of taking that seriously as soon as you decide you're going to take voiceover as a whole seriously. In my opinion, after that, you want to look into your demo reel. Now, your demo is going to be basically your calling card. It's going to be what anyone in the power of hiring, as far as voice talent goes, they're going to look at your demo, listen to your demo, not look that you're not going to look at the audio. They're not going to look at the audio like some kind of psychic monster. They're going to listen to your demo to see if they want to give you a chance to either audition, or sometimes you'll get hired on the spot off of your demo. So your demo needs to be pristine. Please, please, if you are new to voice acting, if you are new to audio at all, do not attempt to make your own demo, even if you have like ample experience in voice acting, but you don't have ample experience in audio editing. Or the other way around, if you have ample experience in audio editing, but you don't know shit about voice acting, do not attempt to make your own demo, because you'll botch it. You're gonna botch it. You're either gonna make something super cringy, of a demo that's too long. You're gonna make a demo that sounds copy and pasted from things you found online. You need to hire a professional demo producer. A professional demo producer is going to be someone who is very entrenched in the voiceover world, who has a proven history as a voiceover producer, voiceover talent, audio producer, and you want them to, after you've already coached with someone to train you in your acting, your voice acting, or whatever it is, you want a demo coach, may end up being the same person. You want someone who will guide you, who will coach you through a good demo. Because again, a lot of people who are getting into our industry decide they are going to take it upon themselves to make their own demo. Do not do that, because you only get to make one first impression. So if you go ahead and you mail out your shitty demo to 500 casting agencies, and you let that shitty demo be the first impression they get of you, guess what? When you're actually trained up, when you actually decide to get a good demo made, and you go out to send those demos out to those same casting directors, those same agents, guess what? They're going to remember your name. They're going to remember how shitty that first impression was, and they're not even going to open that email. Do it right the first time. It's going to take time. It's going to take money, but it will be worth it in the long run. Finally, once you have all of that done, you should be ready to start competing for work, start finding the work. And there's a lot of avenues to this. My method that I've always used primarily is self-marketing, whether it's email campaigns, whether it's social media marketing, whether it's just being super visible everywhere. So people just know you exist and people know that you do voiceovers. I even have buddies who swear by cold calling, like literally just reaching out to production companies and, asking to speak to the person in charge of hiring voice talent, the creative director, head producer, or something like that, and just making that touch any way they can. I would always say lean heavily on social media. Again, me being the social media guy I am, social media is very free, very easy, very connected, and very fun marketing, promotions, and networking. Slide into some DMs, go on LinkedIn and find the people in power and, shoot them a quick little message pitching yourself. Don't be pushy, and just be a good person. Be interactive, be engaging. And if you're talented and you're engaging, people will reach out. But there are other ways people find work as well. Of course, we all know talent agents and talent managers. Now, talent agencies and managers, they help procure work for you. Or no, I take that back. They procure opportunity. You still have to win those jobs. An agency will get you these opportunities and they'll funnel you auditions, because agencies are still kind of gatekeepers for a lot of the bigger work we want to do. Like, again, if you want to work for Pixar, DreamWorks, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, a lot of that work is going to be coming through agents and managers. If you want to be a movie trailer voice actor, that's going to come through an agency. Now, there's a lot of work that you can get self-marketing too. Again, like a lot of video production, a lot of audiobook stuff, a lot of IVR, phone messages, a lot of radio, and a lot of local TV that can all still be obtained yourself via your self-marketing. But you also do want to consider, again, down the line, if you want to get those bigger jobs, you do want to get to a point where you're looking at agents and managers. But the most of the time, those managers and agents only want you if you have already been booking work. They don't Most of them, again, I'm going to say most of the times because there are agents and managers who have like talent development programs who are willing to take new talent that they see potential in. But the vast majority of the time, they want to see that you've been booking work consistently on your own. They'll even sometimes interview you and ask you about your history and how do you go about marketing and, how often are you working? How often are you booking? So again, either way it goes, I think you do want to get a handle on self-marketing before you reach out to any other aspect. I'm parched. I need some water. Hold on. And there are casting websites. My lisp. I have a lisp. You guys, I have a lisp. You guys probably noticed the lisp. I fight it every day. I fight it like a raggedy bitch. All right. What was I saying? It's right here. It's right here. Oh, okay. So there are casting websites. There are what's called pay to plays, where basically you pay a monthly premium to get access to auditions. There are a few big box websites that a lot of the industry, as far as like video production and casting, know of, and they get a lot of the auditions that are out there specifically sent to these websites. So you may pay like $300-400 a year to get access to these auditions. Now the thing is with these, it's kind of the slang for that in like the industry is called cattle call auditions, because what happens is an audition becomes available and that notification gets sent to let's say 500 other voice actors at the exact same time. So literally you could be upstairs in your living room and you get a notification on your phone. Oh, hey, this audition became available. I'm going to go downstairs and record it, right? And by the time it takes you to get downstairs, record that 5-minute audition, you'll go to submit it and you will see 250 people have already submitted that audition. So what is the likelihood of you booking that audition, being the 251st person to submit that audition? What's the likelihood they're going to listen to that audition? Now, again, it happened. Again, I have colleagues and friends who are doing very well on these types of websites. But again, me personally, I'm just letting you know what's out here and I'm letting you know what I like personally. Why am I holding my titties like that? I'm just letting you know what's out here personally and what my opinion is personally. I would say the self-marketing is going to be key, because oftentimes with the self-marketing, you're building relationships and you won't even have to audition. You're just going to have a rapport with this casting director, this producer, where they're just going to say, oh, Stewart will sound good on this. So he's going to just call you up. You don't even have to audition for it, opposed to doing these cattle calls where you'll always have to audition. And most of the time, there'll be 100 other people who recorded that audition before you. And lastly, there are also freelance websites like Upwork and Fiverr. I'm not going to go too deep into that. That's a very heated topic, and my comment section will get very toxic. I'll personally say that I'm kind of listing these options as far as finding work in order from my most suggested all the way to my least suggested. So I'll leave it at that. Do what you will with that information. Do your own research. But I will fairly say that I have done both of those websites. And when I was very early on in my career, it did help me build a rapport, get my skills up, and it did help me pay for a lot of my beginning equipment. That said, if I would have got into the self-marketing as hard as I hit those freelance websites, I probably would have gotten to where I am now maybe about 2 years earlier. Just make sure you have a good marketing material, whether it be a kick-ass website, whether it's several kick-ass social media pages that very clearly paint you in the heat kicked on. So we're going to wrap this video up soon. Some kind of page that has your demos, your work, your history, so people can see and hear you. Because again, this social media, it's free marketing, free branding, free networking. Make it easy for people to find you. Oh, good. It went off. Thank God. So that is pretty much the bare, but why did it go off? Why did my heat go off? I might be dealing with a crisis. It is like 9 degrees outside, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, that was pretty much the bare bones basics as far as what I feel like you need to do to become a voice actor. A voice actor. I said a voice actor. So again, you're always free to kind of blaze your own path. But I feel like if you cover these few points, kind of in this order, you will be on the right track. Again, it's not going to be instant. You're not going to wake up even following these steps. You're not going to get a coach, build a studio, start marketing, and start booking gigs. You may go a whole year without booking a single gig. You may go multiple years without booking a single gig. That coach may work with you for 3 months and say you're not quite ready yet to cut a demo. Because, again, we all have different paths, and this is a very competitive market. That said, there is enough work out here for everyone, every voice, every background, every ethnicity, every type of vocal style. Even if you don't like your voice, again, me, I'm out here working with a lisp. I have been a full-time voice actor. I bought this house. From my voice acting revenue with a lisp. You know what I mean? So there is literally a market out here for everybody. You just got to find your place. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to grind for this. And that could be the deciding factor as far as whether or not you're into this for real. If you started this video thinking it was going to be all sunshine and peaches, and now you're at the end of the video and realizing that it's not going to be as easy as you thought it was going to be, and that it kind of discourages you from pursuing it, fair, that may be for the best. But if you got to the end of this video and are still invigorated with the vigor of a vigorous vigorer, basically, if you got to the end of the video and you realize how hard it could potentially be and you're still balls to the wall ready to do this, you're going to do well. You're going to be just freaking fine. All right, so folks, again, this is not my normal video, but again, I just like to put these out every once in a while because folks ask the question. If you want to see some of my usual content on here, I'll put some foodie stuff right here, and I'll put some comedy stuff right here. Go out there and kick some ass, and I will see you soon.